Welcome to the newest installment of the Untitled Film Nerd Project. My name is Philip, and joining me as always is TJ.
Hello.
And this episode, we watched Veronica. Before we get into it, spoiler warning now. If you want to avoid spoilers, skip ahead to the timecode you see on the screen. So this was directed by Paco Plaza. And I want to pat myself on the back a little bit, because my very first line in my notes, let me just go back, I wrote, Spanish film, has potential. 5 minutes in, I wrote, this has a really .rec vibe. Ironically, Paco Plaza directed .rec. 1, 2, and 3. And he wrote them. So I was like, yay.
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 Good job on that one.
I know. If I could pat myself on the back, I would. So, no stranger to his work, apparently, and I guess he has a directing style that is kind of recognizable, I guess.
Very noticeable.
Yeah. Veronica, the title character, was played by Sandra Escacina in her debut film.
Which, by the way, her picture on IMDb is phenomenal.
Yes, it is. I'll flash that up right now. She was the main focus. I'm not going to go through all the cast for the cast and crew, but I'll go through like the family. Lucia was Bruna Gonzalez. Irene was Claudia Placer. Antonito was Ivan Chevero. And the mom, Ana, was Ana Torrent, who's been in tons of stuff. This is based on the 1991 case of Estefania Gutierrez Lazaro, who this is actually really close to the events that happened to her, except in the real version, she died 6 months to the date after playing the Ouija board for the first time with her friends.
Okay.
So that's cast and crew rundown. Initial reactions. I'll let you go first, sir.
I loved it.
Right on. Didn't you say something to the extent of like 9 out of 10 people couldn't finish it or something?
Well, that was like one of the clickbait blurbs that I saw on Facebook that people were talking about how scary it was. And
right.
Like, I guess it was just on the build to give it the build, same hype as Exorcist.
Right. Because I thought to myself, I guess 9 out of 10 people have never seen a movie like this before.
Yes.
This is like another one. I don't know if I'm just, for lack of a better word, a picky bitch. But this is another one where like you loved it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. It felt like your standard run-of-the-mill possession movie. It did have good parts.
Well, and we'll get into it further as to why my reasons why I loved it.
Right
it
on,
was
right
not, and there are specific reasons why.
Okay. And there are specific things that I thought it did really well. But so initially you loved it, and I am kind of lukewarm. Didn't hate it, but it's another that I would recommend to horror fans. All right, so let's get into the specifics. What was your favorite scene?
There were several, and I guess overall my favorite scenes were the transition scenes.
Okay.
Meaning, like, one of my favorite ones that comes to mind is when she started her period, her getting out of bed. Yes.
It was the film style and editing was really...
Yes.
I'm on board with you with that, because that's one of the things I did like about it a lot. Actually wrote down specific scenes that wowed me. Because there was that one, the scene where she's walking through, like, what would be like the park, but she's walking on the books.
Yeah, through the pages.
Yeah.
Loved the shit out of that.
Yes, that was really cool as well. I think my favorite scene, just because of how seamless it was done, this is a small thing, but towards the end when she's running down the hall, or running through the house, I think she's trying to find Antonito, and everything's falling around her as she's running. But as she's running by it, it's falling.
Yes.
Pictures and shit's falling off of like shelves and stuff's falling off the walls. I thought that was really well done. So I'm with you with the transitions. Her getting out of bed was probably the best one. That was so well done. But as far as visually, like the stuff falling as she was running by, I thought was also really well done and probably my favorite scene. What is your holy shit moment?
It's another one of a scene similar to that, but for me, it was when I think it was her and all the kids had witnessed the entity or whatever going across the room, that shadow.
Mm-hmm.
There was two scenes like that. There was one at the end, but this is the first time that it happened where the camera's just panning in a circle around the room, and as it is, you just see that shadow crossing the room.
Right.
And it was to the light of the, what's that memory game?
Oh, Simon?
Simon.
Yeah. I remember that.
To the light of that. I loved all of that, and it was just a very, holy shit, this is well done.
Okay, right on. Fair. That's awesome. Mine is more holy shit. Holy shit. When Veronica was dreaming, and her sisters were eating the flesh off of her arms, and her little brother was choking her. I was like, whoa. Like, holy shit. Like, I knew it wasn't real. But still, wow. So that was my holy shit moment. If any, mediocre moment.
Trying to think. You go first on that.
Okay. I think I loved the character of Sister Death. But her not actually trying to help her, I thought was mediocre. It kind of bugged me.
Her pulling the Yoda?
Yeah, good call. Exactly. Like, you must find answers, must. And like, whatever, I can't do good Yoda talk. But yeah, just not like, don't speak in riddles. Help her.
Don't be cryptic.
Yeah.
I don't have time for cryptic.
This is not the time to be cryptic. Like this. No, stop it. So that was my mediocre. Like, I thought the scenes with her, especially in the basement, the second time, was really. I didn't care for it.
I guess for me, it was just kind of more of the interactions with her friend.
Okay.
Because, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, it just wasn't even all that necessary.
Well, that and fucking Rosa was a shitty friend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, she says to her, "You said you were going to die today, but I'm not going to try and save you."
Yeah.
Well, like, what the fuck kind of friends are you?
If
me and you had done a Ouija board, and I knew something was wrong with you, and you told me in crazy possessed breaths that you were going to die 2 or 3 days from now. I'd be like, dude, you said you were going to die 2 or 3 days from now. What do we have to do? We need to stop this. Like, I'm your friend and I don't want you to die.
Or you show up on my doorstep freaking out on the day in question.
Yeah, maybe you don't have your I need to be an adult party and help your fucking friend. That was close to being mediocre.
Now, one thing that I did like about the interactions with Sister Death is when she talked about, Veronica had mentioned something about God or the Bible.
Yes, I wrote it down. Give me 1 sec. She said that crosses didn't work. And Sister Death says, crosses? God has nothing to do with it. Leave him out of it.
Loved that.
I said out loud, thank you. Finally, a fucking possession movie that has nothing to do with religion. I'm not going to get into it, but I just get it's a trope it avoided. And one that I really fucking appreciated. I said thank you out loud because it was finally... we're not, oh God, come and save this poor possession. Like, there's nothing you can do. You're fucked.
Yeah. Like,
you pretty much need to do what she said. Do it, fix it. And if your Ouija board's cracked in half, you're really fucked.
And if your Ouija board's cracked in half and you have to buy a new one anyways just to get the pamphlet book that came with it, then maybe you should not have thrown the new Ouija board away.
Do you think you could use a new one, though, or would you have to use the original one?
I don't know. But
yeah, I thought that too. Because I thought that as well. Yeah, I thought that too. But then I was like, well, maybe that's the doorway. So you have to use the original doorway to close the door. But yeah, why not just take it home just in case? Yeah, agree with you there. All right, if any LOL moment.
None that comes to mind because again, this was not one that was built on humor being a big part of it.
There was one funny moment to me.
Okay.
It was minor. It was in the beginning when the 2 little sisters were in the kitchen and they were trying to see who's going to get the milk. And they did the rock, paper, scissors thing. And the one lost. And she opens up the fridge. She's like, there's no milk. The other sister says it's in the pantry or whatever. But they used walkie-talkies. I busted out laughing. Because she's like, "Shh, there's no milk." And everyone's like, "Shh, it's in the pantry." And they're within like 2 feet of each other. It cracked me up. I was like, that's so freaking cool. So it's a little corny, but that's my LOL moment. I thought it was really funny. All right, well, those are our talking points other than my notes. Would you like to discuss the movie further?
Well, just loving the transitions. Some others that came to mind was at the very beginning where they were talking about the eclipse in class.
Right.
And it's not even a transition moment, just what I thought was a well-shot moment when they were leaving the classroom and the one teacher told them to shut the projector off and she's standing in front of it and the eclipse is right on her.
Yeah. I remember that.
Another one was after her friend had blew her off and she's walking on the street and she's walking forward, but everything going on behind her is in reverse.
Was that the part where she saw her twin?
Yes.
Yes, that was also really well done. Yes.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
The apartment was well shot. Everything with that. Loved the entire scene with the really odd painting of the wolves chasing the deer.
Right, yeah.
And at the end, when the shit was hitting the fan, her walking by it and the deer had disappeared out of the painting.
Oh, did they? I did not notice that.
Yeah, that was right when
okay.
everything started falling down.
Right, that's probably...
from the scene that you were talking about.
Yeah, I was probably so busy writing.
But yeah, to go with what you said, it was very much standard paint by the numbers possession. I mean, this was essentially, to me, Spanish The Conjuring.
Yeah, it was like The Conjuring, kind of Insidious.
Yeah.
In a way.
I would put this more towards The Conjuring than The Exorcist.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I would definitely agree with that. I think if Paco wasn't such a good director and a good screenwriter, like, he knows what he's doing, clearly. But I probably wouldn't have liked this nearly as much if it didn't have his style all over it.
Yeah. I mean, if this didn't have the style that I had, then it would have been another... What was that one movie we watched? The Crucifixion?
Oh, God. Yeah. That was boring.
Yeah. It would have been another one like that.
Yeah.
I also have to give kudos to the main actress.
Yes.
She played Terrified very well.
Especially after learning this was her first feature film, her first role, her first acting gig. This is her first thing ever. So, yeah, major kudos.
Yeah.
Major kudos to Sandra, because she knocked this one out of the park. And you know what? Good on Paco for taking a chance on a new actress.
Yeah.
You don't really see that. And, I mean, the entire cast was fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, the siblings were cast well. The mom was cast really well. Sister Death was fucking awesome. Like, it's like, you're fucking cool. I mean, everyone was just cast really well. And they played their parts really well. I mean, I don't have much else to say because you kind of covered it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember anything else that stuck out, but just what would ever bring me back is the style of this movie.
Yes.
Not so much the substance.
Yeah, the way it was told, but not the story itself. I mean, the story itself was solid, but the parts that were memorable were what we've discussed, what you said, the transitions and the shots and the effects and stuff were really cool. But other than that, I don't know. Maybe it's another one of those, like, it's too much hype. And if you'd said .rec was 9 out of 10, I would have been like, yeah. Because .rec was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And the sequel was fucking awesome. Don't get me started on 3 and 4 and blah. I'm kind of glad I didn't know that there was the same director, because I think I would have had even more expectations going into it than I had from what you told me about what the clickbait taglines were.
Did you have anything interesting in your notes?
Let me look. Philip's notes. In the picture of the dad holding the pizza, I said that the pizza looked like it had giant beetles on it. What the fuck were those things?
I have no idea.
Gross. Why is it in Catholic school girls have to wear, like, the fucking skirts? It's so weird to me. Why can't they wear pants?
I mean,
it's so weird to me. I don't. It's like in American high schools or whatever, or even junior highs, girl volleyball teams, girl softball teams, whatever. They have, like, the short fucking shorts. Why? It's so creepy. It's so creepy. I don't want to get into it, alienate our potential creeper audience. But it's so weird. I don't get it. It was something I mused on while watching.
Well, I mean, it's just not even something that's exclusive to Catholic. Christian schools do the same thing. We've learned from Asian schools, they do the same thing.
Right.
Skirts.
Yeah. It's so weird to me.
It's just all about keeping girls in skirts, which is just creepy.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that maybe I don't know. I'm sure we'll hear it in the comments. Yeah. Can't wait to read those. Bring it. And before she took the Ouija board out, I wrote, I swear if she has a Ouija board for no reason. But it was cool, the concept of doing it exactly during an eclipse.
Yes.
And it was also cool to see a Ouija board in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen that before, so that was awesome to see.
I remember thinking, a Ouija board during the eclipse. This will probably not end well.
Yeah. And then I made a joke about, like, the spoiled, possessed Ouija board. It's like, I don't want to be up there. I want to be down here. When it kept falling off the top of the closet.
Yep.
I don't want to be up here. No. I want to be on the ground.
You will forget about me if you keep me up here.
Right? It's like, stop it, you possessed, spoiled Ouija board.
It's like, Ouija board has plot armor. Interesting.
Yeah. I thought to myself, okay, if crazy shit was happening, I don't think I'd be in the dark with headphones on.
No.
Ever. That was weird.
Mm-hmm.
I did kind of like the music that they played throughout the movie. It was by the one band that she had the shirt of.
Mm-hmm.
So I did kind of like their music. The guy had a nice voice.
I was digging somewhat the score a little bit. It was reminded me of John Carpenter-ish.
Yeah, it kind of had that guest kind of synthy John Carpenter vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't enjoy it as much as you did. I thought it kind of detracted from the story and was unnecessary. But the score and sound design in the last 5 minutes was superb.
Mm-hmm.
Weird thunder and noises and just like, it wasn't your typical whispery shit. I made a mental note of it because it was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the score you're talking about, the synth stuff, sounded cool.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a little out of place, and they only did it like 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm. Definitely give you that, because it's not like the score popped up at the very beginning. It was like good 20 or 30 minutes in before we got the synthy stuff.
Yeah.
And it did seem kind of out of nowhere. Now, what did you think of the entire ending scene, like with, again, the second time that they used the shadow, but the shadow was then just warping everything that it passed through?
What do you mean?
When the creature was coming down the hallway and the door shut, and it came through the door, and it darkened the poster, and then it went across, and as it passed over 2 other posters, it slashed through them.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of the creature design and usage.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't dislike it, but I just thought, I don't know. I thought it could have been interpreted better.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, and I think you like the shadow stuff more than I did, which is totally fair. Like, I can see why you liked it, but it just wasn't doing it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't really love it. I didn't care for it.
Okay.
I think I don't know.
I'm picturing the I don't know.
When she was going through her Occulto magazines.
Mm-hmm.
Reminded me of like the old school version of finding out what's going on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Going online, trying to figure out what's going on.
I did love it when, she gave the little brother the job of putting up the symbols all over the walls.
I'm going to reference that later. Oh, yeah.
And he flipped to the page of the incantation.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe you should have just torn out the page.
Yeah. Stay tuned towards the end of the podcast as I reference that. Another LOL moment, but it wasn't the LOL moment, was when the one sister was playing beauty pageant.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was really funny. She said, like, Miss Madrid was a doctor, a lawyer, a firefighter, but she has a secret. She's a robot. That was really fucking funny.
I loved it when she's like, she has 7 kids.
Yeah. That was a really funny.
That's a very Catholic robot.
Right. That was a really funny part. And then when the neighbor came down to complain to Veronica, I said, I'm Spanish Jackie from Roseanne comes up to confront her. She looked like Spanish Jackie from Roseanne. Laurie Metcalf. Thank you. I couldn't remember her fucking name during the movie. Hooray for random figuring shit out. Okay, at the hour mark, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of bored. Mm-hmm. I wrote that in my notes. I was kind of bored at the hour mark. I think it moved a little too slow.
I'll definitely give you that.
I think that an hour and 50 minutes was a little much. Usually I say movies can do with another 20. You could have taken away 15 off this one and tightened it up just a little bit. I think day 2 really dragged the movie down. Mm-hmm. They weren't setting up anything that the final act made worth it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the final act, but day 2, just nothing really escalated. This starts off with the end. And then we flash back 3 days and we work our way back up. And with these kind of movies, especially with possession movies, the entire crux of your plot is building towards that last 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. You know, the whole time we're anticipating what's going to happen. Especially when, like, you know, we get the scene of the police officers going in there and the look on their face. What the fuck are they seeing? What's she doing to the little brother? All these thoughts are going through your head. Now, I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah.
With what we got. It was very Emily Rose, very Deborah Logan, very not as cool as Deborah Logan, but you know, the whole arched back, mouth open. It was very much Ouija prequel. Mm-hmm. So we've seen it before, and it was 5 seconds and then done.
Yeah,
I expected something much more grand, with all the build-up and all of this conjuring stuff and this insidious stuff that was happening the whole time. And so I think maybe the final act is why the final act needed to be a home run for me, and it was more like a double.
Yeah.
Like you hit the ball, but not as far as you needed to for me.
Mm-hmm.
Sports ball! And yeah, I think that's kind of my issue with it. So it was a little long in the tooth, as they say. I was glad, though, that she told her mom about the Ouija board. Mm-hmm. When her mom asked what was going on, because she said nothing at first. I'm like, come on, just tell her, because I hate that. I hate when characters do that in movies, when they don't tell the information they have. Mm-hmm. You would do that in real life. You would tell, like, this is what's going on, help me. She did, and I liked that. And I wrote again, if a cult demon thing is using you as a conduit to get to your sisters and or brother, maybe you stop putting your headphones on.
Yeah.
Fuck. Seriously.
Well, and I'm also just like, you know, if you're having to be the parent for your siblings.
Yeah.
Maybe don't put your headphones on.
Exactly. Yes. Take the occult demon stuff out of it. Be a, you know, responsible older sibling. Usually there's a shot that I ask you to get for me. Mm-hmm. This is the shot I want, if you can get it for me. The part where she is in the basement with Sister Death. Mm-hmm. Sister Death is walking towards her, and there's that one shot of that beam of light shining across her face. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. You can see the dust in the air. It is beautiful. It's my favorite shot. I love lighting and contrast and all that stuff, especially my photography and whatnot. That still shot would be beautiful as a picture, in my opinion.
And I guess that's part of the beauty of being the Yoda character. You get the really mysterious shots.
You get the really awesome, like, lighting, mysterious shots. Yes. I thought to myself that maybe a Ouija board and children is not a good mix.
Yeah. Yeah, those kids, like, even if things had turned out well, those kids would need therapy.
Yeah.
They're going to definitely need therapy now, but...
Yeah. Well, according to the story, the true story, because there was only one official police report filed, and that's the one we got the story based off of. But apparently, after the original person it was based off of died, paranormal stuff actually picked up, which is what I was expecting. A transition cut, like 6 months later.
Yeah, like I kept on hoping for I didn't realize that it was based on a true story, because I kept on hoping for the end to be paranormal shit started picking up for the other two girls. Not the sisters, but the other two girls that were involved in the Ouija.
Yeah, I would have liked that, actually.
Yeah, because, I mean, they were there. Their fingers were on that glass too.
Yeah, maybe they're hanging out in her room, and all of a sudden, like, they're sitting on the bed smoking a cigarette or some bullshit. And they're like, ha ha ha, look at this magazine with all the cute boys in it. And then from behind them, the shadow rises from behind the bed.
Mm-hmm.
But you can clearly see it's Veronica.
Mm-hmm.
That should have happened. We need to start rewriting movies for people. That'd have been cool. A, because that'd have been awesome. B, because my fucking need for comeuppance.
Yes.
On the bad people. Your shitty friends need comeuppance. Yes. I didn't hate the end, though. And I was glad at the end when the pic reforms and then the name Veronica comes up.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting like a Bagul scare, trademark to Good Bad Flicks, and the demon-y face to come out of the picture, or the hand to come out of the picture, something like that. We didn't get that, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
But I would have much rather have had our ending, which I think is superior in every single way. I was amused that they used a commercial jingle to sing during the Ouija part. That was really funny.
What is something that we know? Oh, the dish cleaner.
Yeah.
Or whatever the hell it was.
I thought to myself also, you know what? Maybe just leave the apartment.
Yeah.
Stop running and hiding. Just leave the apartment.
Cool design of the apartment, though.
Cool design.
Don't wrap around.
Yeah, so that cool design as far as being able to work camera style around it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can do a lot of panning, and a lot of moving around in it. When she saw into her sister's room from like across the west, like, how the fuck's this apartment?
Yeah.
Then she took the path. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I was thinking the same thing. As what is your sister doing across the street at the other apartments?
Yeah, that's what I thought at first. I'm like, wait a minute. You can see. Wait, what? Where are you at then? If that's their room, where are you at? But you're in the apartment. What the fuck's going on? What are you doing, conjuring demon? Then we had the little twist. It was her the whole time. So she was choking her sister, and she turned the bathwater on, and et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So not really a surprise, but not bad.
But I'm glad that they still kept it supernatural, because I was afraid it was going to turn into the entire thing of it was all psychological.
Right, yeah. They could, because
then I'd have been pissed.
Okay. And then it's Veronica dies, and I put poor mom. The poor mom was like so nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like the mom. And then I wrote, so now is Veronica going to be the spirit?
Mm-hmm.
Which is what I wanted, as we just said. And that is all for my notes. Anything else you'd like to add? You want to go to final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts is good.
All right, here we go to final thoughts. Yes or no? Would you recommend this movie?
Yes.
As would I. But again, I think I would only recommend it to people who like this kind of movie.
And it's one that I think would be better watched with more than one person.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Just then you can feed off of each other's enjoying of viewing it.
Okay.
It's one of those, I think if you're just sitting there by yourself, you're going to possibly go into what you were talking about of being bored.
Yeah. I suffered through it. I don't say suffered, but you know what I mean. I weathered the storm, I guess is a better way to put it. Based on hoping that the final act, the final 10 minutes were stellar. That home run that I referenced earlier. But, it wasn't. I would also recommend it, but as said, just to like diehards or people who really, really like paranormal possession movies. So if you like those kind of movies, check it out.
Agreed.
Okay, that takes care of final thoughts. But before we go, as it pertains to Veronica, what did we learn?
You go first.
I learned maybe don't have a fucking 4-year-old draw occult symbols on the wall. Come on.
Totally agree. Because the chances of those churning out,
right?
That would be like asking him to draw a pentagram, and all of a sudden you're in with like a fucked up Star of David or something.
Is that a Viking symbol or is that a dog? What is that?
That looks like a dog.
Yeah. What are we summoning? What's going on here?
And that's a duck.
He drew an incantation. She was fucked. Like she fucked herself.
Yes.
By having him do that. That's what I learned. Don't do that because you will fuck yourself. A little kid like that has the shortest attention span ever because they're a kid.
Yes.
He's going to want to turn the page and keep drawing cool stuff on the wall. So that's what I learned from Veronica.
I learned not to search the name Veronica in Tumblr with the safe search off.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, no.
There's lots of boobies.
I am so sorry. That's awesome.
So, lesson learned.
That's an amazing inaugural lesson learned. I'm glad you took the bullet on that one. Or bullets. Ha! Spoilers are over. Come back. Come back. We're done spoiling the movie.
Welcome back.
That wraps up this episode. Thank you for listening. Tell us what you thought of the movie in the comments below. Did you love Veronica like TJ? Or did you think it was merely okay like me?
And were you one of the 1 out of 10 that could not make it through and had to shut it off?
And if so,
tell us why.
Yeah, why?
Because
I can find you movies that are much scarier in the genre,
yes.
In the subgenre of possession horror. Yeah. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Share it with your friends or cool people who might dig the podcast. And please subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the newest content. Speaking of, our next podcast will be on the movie Insidious: The Last Key. This is the 4th movie in the franchise, and you've seen the previous 3, right?
Yes,
okay,
and hopefully this will be better than the 3rd one.
Oh my gosh, well, Lee Whannell is not directing it, so sorry, Lee, if you're for some reason listening to this. Big fan and you're hot, but you dropped the ball on the 3rd one, buddy. Yeah. So that will be the movie for the next podcast. So until then, once again, my name is Philip.
And I'm TJ.
And we'll be back next time to talk about Insidious 4. Goodbye.
Goodbye.